Hello friends, Markus Harvey here. Once again, I know it's been a while, 69 steps in front of the now melting St. John River. It is YATR. It's been a while. Like I said, before we get started, listen, if you want to see more YATR content, I'll try to get more to you. But you need to like and subscribe and let me know what you'd like to hear content on in the future. Today's episode is brought to you by Glenallachie 10-year-old cask strength premium Scotch whiskey. It is a beauty, as you can tell from the color. It is a sherry bomb, and as far as the taste goes, remember those little packs of raisins you used to get as a kid, the Sun made? If you were to take a pack of those, put them in your dope grinder, then throw them in with a cup of cleaning alcohol or medicinal alcohol or rubbing alcohol, let it sit on the counter in a hockey bag for about 4 months, and then drink that, this would taste nothing like it. This is an absolutely top-notch, beautiful whiskey. I suggest it. Get them while you can. Glenallachie 10-year-old cask strength whiskey at your local Corbett Avenue liquor store. It's the only place you can get it. All right. Now that we're into the lawsuit phase of the operation, let's have a little chat today about the Freedom Convoy 2022, the Trucker Convoy, the Inconvenience Convoy, the Karen Convoy, the Tantrum Convoy, the American 2.0 Convoy that happened over the last month or so in various locations, but mainly we'll talk about Ottawa today. Listen. As my mother said, if we were all the same, it'd be a pretty boring place to live, this planet. But that's what makes this so interesting. This convoy was cooked up by 3 or 4 really white, racially motivated separatist nut jobs who didn't drive trucks. But it was the intent amongst the general populace that supported it was good to start with. There was a group of people that wanted to support the truckers and them having to be vaccinated to get back and forth across the border. Never mind the fact that the United States also required them to be vaccinated to get back and cross the border. So having a convoy against that really wasn't going to change anything. But then it turned into a freedom convoy. We want to get rid of the masks. We want to get rid of the vaccine mandates. We're going to go to Ottawa and we're going to confront Justin Trudeau, and it's going to happen. We're doing it. This ends now. Hold the line. Okay, so a few issues I have with this, and I'm not going to get on either side of this because we've all had these little wars on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram about who's right and who's wrong. And here's my take on it. Okay, so you had these groups of people coming from all sides of the country, with Ottawa being the final intent to lock down Ottawa and get Trudeau to come to the table and get rid of these mandates. So that was the intent as it's coming. But as it's coming across the country and the GoFundMe page is collecting money, there's other little pockets of nefariousness infiltrating this thing. So once it arrived in Ottawa, you had a whole lot of really good people, a whole lot of upset people who think and thought that they were wronged by having to wear masks and having to be vaccinated in order to do some everyday things, go to restaurants, movie theaters, etc., that they felt that the government needed to stop these mandates right away and get their freedom back. Mental health issues, and I mean, a lot of these issues, absolutely valid. And if you look at the latest survey, I believe Angus Reid did a poll here a week or so ago, the majority of Canadians agreed with you on that topic of getting rid of the masks, getting rid of the mandates. I'm all for it too. And it's interesting, the dichotomy of this is that you've got two very distinct groups of people, but agreeing on the same thing. For myself, I'm double vax boosted. So is my family. I believe in science and math, and I want to get rid of the masks and the mandates. Then you have the group of people that don't believe in science and math and don't believe in masks and don't believe in vaccines and want to get rid of them because they feel they're being trodden upon and become a second-class citizen because they refuse to do these things. But you take these two sides, my beliefs and the beliefs of the convoy people, the truckers, and you still have a majority of Canadians that are on board. My reasoning is I'm double vaccinated and boosted. If you do not want to believe math and science and you want to go out there and play stupid games and win stupid prizes, go right ahead. It's time for life to get on. It's time for this pandemic to end. It's time for it to become an endemic. And let's get on with our lives. I'm with you on that one. But herein lies a bit of the problem. And here's what I think went wrong with Ottawa and with the other ones. The initial getting everybody out and standing on the freeways and on the overpasses and cheering the truckers, we're going to get rid of these masks and mandates. You know what? It got everybody out of the house. It get a lot of people, some fresh air in these hard times. It's been 2 years. Great. Cheer them on. But you know what? Ottawa knew this was coming. That's the first thing that needs to be addressed here. If you knew it was coming, why didn't you take measures to stop it, protect it better, and keep it from getting to the point that it got to? Secondly, as it was traveling across the country, it kind of morphed from being a mask mandate, get rid of the mask, get rid of the vaccines, and a lot of little right-wing stuff came in. You got a lot of people that wanted to overthrow the government. The money that was coming in, the GoFundMe, I saw one statistic on this. They did a survey from GoFundMe, and like 34% of the money that went into that $10, $11, $12 million came from outside of the country. Then when that got shut down because it was considered, the money wasn't coming from the right places and going to the right places, they started up that other fund, and I don't know the name of it, I'm sorry. But anyway, they did a survey on that one, or they ran the statistics on that one, and that turned out to be 50-some% or more of the money was coming from outside of the country. So for those of you people, you good people that were there for mask mandates and vaccine mandates to get rid of them, good on you. It's your right to do so. But y'all got duped as this was coming across the country, because what happens when money comes in from outside countries, it's not in support of you and your mask mandates. They could give a shit. It's to destabilize a democratic government and country. So that's what you saw when these people first arrived in Ottawa. You noticed a lot of "Don't Tread on Me" flags and Trump flags, and people dancing on the War Memorial and defacing Terry Fox's statue, Nazi symbols, things like that. That's a lot of the under-bubbling nefarious stuff that was happening behind the smoke screen of the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates that you were trying to get rid of. So to the, for the organizers and whatnot, to their credit, that seemed to get calmed down fairly quickly. And I believe the Ottawa police cracked down on that as well, too. They get rid of the Americans that were there causing trouble, the swastikas, the stuff like that. So when Trudeau goes on about that, he really doesn't have much for legs to stand on, because that was handled pretty quickly. But then, everybody settled in, and this became a 3-week-long occupation. So just to address all of the things that happened, there was Ottawa, there was Coutts in Alberta, and the Ambassador Bridge between Windsor and Detroit. The Alberta and the Ambassador Bridge thing, I don't understand what that did for anybody, aside from cost Canadians and Americans hundreds of millions of dollars in trade back and forth over that amount of time that the borders, it didn't amount to anything. Now, I know Alberta Premier Kenny got rid of the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates at that point. Maybe you can chalk that up as a feather in your cap. I don't know. I know here in New Brunswick the week before, or the weekend before, they were going to have one here in Fredericton. Our government also announced some loosening of restrictions as well, but that was planned out in the winter plan months before this even happened. So you can't say you had a win on that one. Anyway, I digress. Getting back to my point. In Ottawa, our main one there, you had these people that organized it saying on the face that they want to get rid of the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates. But what a lot of people didn't understand is that one of the organizers had a manifesto which called for the removal of Trudeau. I don't like Trudeau either. the removal of Trudeau, and then the Governor General was going to run the country along with people from these this Unity Coalition or whatever it was, Bear Hug 2.0, and overthrow the government. Okay, so folks, this is where you went wrong, because you can freely protest that you don't want to have the masks and the vaccines, but you can't cry freedom and then say you want to overthrow the government that was democratically elected in a free and fair election. If you wanted Trudeau to not be elected, you need to invent yourself a time machine, go back a few months, watch one of my episodes where I told you, don't vote for this dickhead and the People's Party of Canada, or you're going to put Trudeau in power. But what did you do? Yeah, Trudeau, I'm going to vote for the People's Party of Canada, and look what happened. Trudeau. So if you're one of those protesters and you're butthurt and you've lost your truck and you're going to court and you're going to jail or whatever, and you voted for the People's Party of Canada, go look in the mirror if you're looking for blame, because it's not Trudeau. You're the one that put him there. What a waste. Okay, so enough about that. I think everybody that knows me knows my thoughts on the convoy. I think it was foolish. I think it was a waste of money. And the cost of man, well, it was a waste of money, because in the end, you've got these three dummies are now in jail, or maybe they've been bailed out now, your organizers. And aside from that, you've got the hundreds of millions of dollars that was lost between Windsor and Detroit and over there in Alberta. But you also have the millions of dollars in taxpayer money, which is what I pay, and which is what you pay, and which is what Justin Trudeau likes to tax the bejesus out of us for. Millions and millions of dollars just in Ottawa alone was spent corralling this little fringe tantrum from people that were essentially a smokescreen for an overthrow of the government. Like I said, I don't want to go on any further with that, but it costs a lot of money. I think in Ottawa it was $800,000 a day, and then once the Emergency Act came in, it was like $2 million a day ongoing. So it's just a lot of wasted money. And if you want to look now, right now today, what did you gain from it? Nothing. A bunch of people arrested, a bunch of rigs, a bunch of cars and vehicles towed away, people going to court, getting fined and going to jail. You still got to wear your mask when you go on a plane to fly back out to Alberta or to fly to Newfoundland or wherever. But it was your freedom, your voices. You wanted your voices heard. You're allowed to. Like I said, be a boring place if we were all the same. I have a bigger issue, not so much with the protesters than I do with Justin Trudeau himself. What a schmarmy, pathetic punk he is. And like I said, folks, you've got over 55% or more of the country that wants to get rid of the masks and the vaccine mandates. We're with you. And we are headed in that direction. We've already got the chief medical officers talking about this being an endemic and not a pandemic. And once you move to an endemic, that essentially means you're getting rid of your masks, you're getting rid of your vaccine passports. We're headed in that direction. But for Justin Trudeau, I mean, come on, man. This could have been fixed so much more quickly than it was, and without the needs of putting in this Emergency Measures Act. When the people first showed up in Ottawa, Trudeau conveniently got COVID, or one of the kids did. God bless him. Hope he's doing all right. And was out for 5 days. And then he just entrenched himself. And, the protesters didn't help themselves at the start of this when they let in those, the Trumpers and the Nazi flag peoples and the racists and whatnot. The honking of the horns didn't help and things like that. But Trudeau knows, and as we all know, and as the country wants, these mandates are going away anyway, sooner than later. So he could have met with these organizers, and you don't have to say that, you're not subjecting yourself to negotiating with terrorists or anything. There's a group of people out there, despite what they reported, that there was 2.5 million protesters and 100,000 trucks. I believe at the height of it, there was 20,000 top. It was a Nickelback concert, essentially, and 1,000 trucks downtown. But they were out there, and they were hotter than Beth in a bathtub. I'm telling you, people were excited. So Trudeau could have calmed this down and thrown some cold water on it if he just met with these people and said, you know what, don't negotiate with them, but just say, listen, these mandates are going to go away by the end of March at the latest. Even if that pushed his timeline up a little, say that they were going away. Say, yeah, we're going to get rid of the mandates. We're going to get rid of the masks by the end of March at the latest. Have a couple of cameras there, shoot some pictures of him meeting with them. Do your deal. Give them the win. Even if you have to say it's a win, there you go, you won. Do it. Be the bigger person. Be the Prime Minister of Canada. Like, come on, man. At that point, once you've had this meeting and you've told them you're going to give them what they want, it's not going to be immediately. And I'm pretty sure that they are hopefully, I mean, they're not rocket poets, but hopefully they're smart enough to understand that it wasn't going to end right now. Hold the line. But it would give reason to all the good folks that were there for that reason to go away. And then once you get rid of that mask mandate vaccine smokescreen, then all the organizers have left is that underbelly of the right-wing separatist group that are looking to overthrow the government. The exact opposite of freedom. Then at that point, move some police in, because you're going to have a lot less people there. Get rid of them that way. This Emergencies Act thing, holy crap, man. It's not war. It's a bunch of people in dump trucks with a hot tub and a pig on a spit and kids in a bouncy castle screaming about not wanting to wear masks. Like, get it together. Slowly close the streets off, move them out, the ones that are still there, and then carry on with life. Like, you didn't need to bring in the Emergency Measures Act, and you look really bad for it. You look bad on the world stage. So Trudeau, you done screwed up, son. You could have took a page out of the old Blaine Higgs book here. Blaine blocked every friggin' road coming into Fredericton. People came in, and that's another thing. Just to quickly talk on that one. The people that did the Fredericton protest here in New Brunswick, I watched some of it on TV. You know, angry white people standing on a dirty snowbank screaming at an empty building. Listen, if you're there supporting getting rid of masks and vaccines, that's your right to do so. But what I saw was one white Sally standing there screaming his brains out about how his friend got touched by the cops and he's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada and then come down and shove that, whatever he got from the Supreme Court of Canada, right up the cop's ass. Listen, bud, that has nothing to do with mask mandates and vaccine mandates. And I'll tell you another little tip for free. You have a better chance of a unicorn coming along and sticking his horn up your arse and trotting you back off to your parents' basement than you are getting to the Supreme Court with your 13 signatures about some police officer touching your friend. And then there was other people on there talking about 5G and flat earth and microchips. Come on, people. I know you are incensed and hot and you don't want the masks and you don't want the vaccines, but use your heads. Don't be duped into this foolishness. It turned into a circus, even here in Fredericton. In the end, listen, just to wrap this up, we're all Canadians. The majority of us want to get rid of the masks and the vaccine mandates, and you know what? It's coming. Trudeau screwed up. He could have handled this a lot better. The organizers of this Freedom Rally, Convoy, whatever you want to call it, could have handled it better. But like I said, when you're not hearing squirrel shit, it tends to take away from your ability to handle things rationally. Trudeau does have to go, but we have to do it democratically, not by driving a 18-wheeler through his house. So good luck out there, my friends. Thanks for coming for this quick little trip down YATR lane with me and the trucker convoy. Hopefully we can put this to bed, and the next time I'm on here doing an episode, it's about like all the new TV shows on that are coming around and the stuff that's come back and fun things, floating around the pool, drinking some cold Alpine lagers, like something like that. Cheers. Thanks for stopping out. Good luck. God bless. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you out there. Keep your stick on the ice.